Oh! Ah! Oh! Ow! I can't do this. By the end of this video, you're gonna know the 3 essential tips you must know if you want to drastically improve your roundhouse kick in martial arts. Now let's get right to it. Tip number 1 to improving your roundhouse kick in martial arts is to make sure that after you lift the knee up, like a front kick chamber, you're turning your hips, all right? You wanna make sure you're turning your hips enough. Now, why am I saying this? It's because, yes, while pivoting the foot is just as important, you can't do a properly executed roundhouse kick just by relying on pivoting the foot, all right? Because even when you pivot the foot and you don't turn your hips, here's what happens. You end up doing a roundhouse kick that's more like a rising kick or like a front kick going diagonal, roundhouse kick going diagonal. It does not look good, right? So what you need to make sure you do is after you lift the knee up, pivot and turn your hips as well. Like that, see? Now I'm in a proper roundhouse kick chamber so you don't throw that roundhouse kick, all right? And in addition, turning your hips also puts more power into the roundhouse kick, all right? Because you're starting up here and then you're ending up here. So in the process, using your hips is what's gonna put a lot more power into that roundhouse kick. All right, so tip number 2 builds right off of tip number 1. I kind of talked about it already, but it is making sure, but very specifically, that you're pivoting your foot somewhere around 45 degrees to the back or all the way facing to the back, full 180 degrees. The reason this is very important is because what I see a lot of people do is they pivot their foot only like 90 degrees, like from here to here, like this, so it's completely facing the side, and then they do a roundhouse kick like that. Now, while that works, it's also not super efficient and you're not gonna get the full impact of the roundhouse kick because if you notice, it's still going somewhat diagonally, all right? That's why if you pivot your back foot like 45 to the back or all the way back, now you end up perfectly kind of like to this, like your hips facing the side. So now you can do the roundhouse kick with full impact, all right? So here, instead of just pivoting here, and even when you turn your hips, you're still gonna end up doing a diagonal. So you wanna pivot it even more so that now your hips will be all the way to the side, and now you can throw that roundhouse kick with full power, full impact. All right, and the third and final tip I have for you guys to improve your roundhouse kick in martial arts is to make sure that if you want to get a higher roundhouse kick, you're not leaning too much, all right? Now, I've already talked about this last tip in my spinning hook kick video, but it's also as important in the roundhouse kick, even if it's not a spinning kick. Because it's like I said in my spinning hook kick tips video. When you lean too much, not only are you losing eye contact off what you're kicking, which is very important to maintain, especially if you're sparring, but also obviously you're losing balance, right? Because you're leaning all your weight on one leg, and then if that leg isn't like strong enough, or if it's your weak leg, you're gonna collapse. And if you lean too much, your opponent can easily just do a leg takedown and then you're done in a sparring match. So make sure that you do instead, like lift your knee up to a high chamber, all right? Don't lean too much. Lean a little bit, but not all the way like that. You know, your head is close to the floor. You know what I'm saying? So here, like that, high chamber, kick, and then land, all right? So here are a couple examples of what a proper roundhouse kick would look like with all these tips implemented, all right? So tip 1 being turning your hips, all the way to the side. Tip number 2 would be having your foot on a 45 to the back or completely back. And then tip 3, not leaning too much, instead getting a high chamber, right? So now, here's what it would look like fast, right? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure if you haven't already to smash that subscribe button for more kicking tutorials and kicking tips. I post new videos every week, so what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button for more kicking tutorials and tips, and click here to check out my latest video. Arigato.